Hey guys, still introducing my studio to you. Look at this studio, guys. Isn't it nice? Wow. But there's a way that my giraffes are not showing today. There's a way that this camera is set in a way that my giraffes are not showing. I think I'll have to have them set my camera differently so that my giraffes show as the background. Oh yeah. But guys, hey, have you ever lacked water? Those days that you are growing up in the village, everybody grew up in the village, except these days where people children are growing in the cities. The village days when we could go and fetch water from the river, and during the rainy seasons, we would find water very red, because of mud. You know, it would rain throughout the night, and then in the morning, the rivers are very red. And because we never used to have tanks, I wish we had tanks. Because what we would have done is that we would have collected the rainwater and saved it for tomorrow. But now, you know, we used to only have things that they used to call drums. Do you remember the drums? A drum. I don't know whether, is that drum supposed to be the English word? No. It's supposed, we used to call them drum. Oh, wait, my God. It's a container that is like, how many liters? 20 times 10. It used to be like 200 liters. Because when we are fetching water, we would go for 10, 20 liter containers. Is what would fill that drum thing, that container that we used to call drum. And then when you fill it up, that water you would spread it for maybe a day, and then it is finished. So because of poverty, we never used to have 2 drums. We just used to have one and like a small one, another very tiny one that was about 6 liters. So it rains throughout the night. That water just goes to waste because you don't have storage. And the only day that you don't go to the river is the following day after it rains today. You have that water in the drum, the so-called drum, the container. So you would use that one, and then the following day, or maybe after 2 days, you don't have water. So you would only be the situation would only be saved if it continued raining every day. You know, even as you use water, you're still collecting more. So at least you would still have the rainwater, and then you would continue using it. But the day the rains will stop, let me tell you a story, guys. The day the rains would stop, you would only stay one more day without fetching water, because containers to store the water was an issue. It was an issue. I remember we could even fetch water even with the cooking pots, and we try and store, but still after a day or two, our water would run out and we go to the river. Now, going to the river, guys, we are going to the river, and you are finding that the river is red. It rained 2 days ago, the river is still red. Water is still red. Red water, guys. Ooh, but do you have any water at home? You don't. So you would see us fetching that red water to take home to go and cook with, to go and drink. And you know what we used to do? Still pour that water after fetching it. We would still pour it in that container that we used to call drum, and we wait for it to settle. But it will never clear completely. We never knew things about things like chlorine. We never knew about such things. So we just used to take the water the way it is. And guys, let me tell you, you would fetch that water when cooking. And guys, how come we didn't die? Because there is God in heaven. I think it is because of the mercies of God. Can you imagine cooking with red water from the river? And it had come, all the waste, all the dirt from the farms used to be, because of the sloppiness of our home area. It used to be very sloppy. So you can imagine having rained upstream, all the dirty water used to go down there. And guys, you could just imagine all the dirt. A lot of it was soil anyway. It is not dirt. And in fact, in the cities is where there is a lot of dirt because of sewage and everything. But in the village, it is just soil from the farms. Soil erosion. That was soil being taken to the river, and then we would go and fetch. But he never used to fall sick. Imagine, God is gracious. We cooked with that water, we drank that water, and if you came as a guest and asked for drinking water, we would still fetch that water for you and give it to you without boiling, guys. Hey, guys. Oh. Can you imagine we used to drink that water without boiling? Who even knew about boiling water? Ah, are you saying boil water? In the village, we never used to boil water. We just used to take that water just like that. And we never died. And we never even got sick. We never even had these diseases of today. Tuberculosis. Is it tuberculosis or what? No, not TB. These diseases like diarrhea and another waterborne disease is which one? Is it TB? Those diseases, let me say waterborne diseases, we never used to build houses. We never used to have such diseases. And you could see those snails there in the water and besides the river, and we never even used to get sick. I think there is God in heaven. Now that I think, I know there is God in heaven. We didn't have an alternative. And in fact, we went on like that until now we acquired a second drum, a second container, that 20-liter container. And when you are in your home, if you ever had about 4 of those containers, wow, then you people are wealthy. Then imagine people, even after the rains, you'd stay like a whole week without going to fetch water. But after 1 week, everybody used to be in the rivers. That is why I usually tell you in the videos that our chores used to be fetching water after school, fetching water, going to collect firewood, and then after that going to cook and milk the cows. Those used to be the chores of the village children those days. And I don't know whether it still happens today. By the way, when I go to the village, I still find ladies, women of the village, I still meet them carrying very heavy loads of firewood, still coming from the coffee plantations to get those pruned. When coffee is pruned, because I come from a coffee growing area, those when it is pruned, those prunings have to get dry, so they go and pick them up, and they tie them up very, very tightly, and they carry them home to make firewood with them as firewood. And that is what they used to. I still find women still carrying that firewood on their backs. So it means the villages have never advanced as yet, because let me ask you, if you don't have charcoal, what will you cook with? You still have to go to the coffee plantations and pick the firewood. That is if you come from a coffee growing area. If not, then you'll have to go to the forest maybe and pick the firewood. I think, let me tell you, when you bypass a stage in life, never ever think that it is everybody who has bypassed that stage. It's not everybody. I think God makes it happen only when your time comes, because you hear there are still people who go for firewoods to this day, to go to fetching firewood to come and cook with. And you would sit here and think that this used to happen nowadays. In fact, I'm telling you a story like it used to happen during our days. And it still happens to this day. So it still happens to this day. I also still find women fetching water, though not many, because piped water has come to the villages. The politicians have made an effort of bringing in piped water, and then you could only pay some cost and make an effort of now diverting it to your home. You would pay for that amount and divert it to your home, but at least there is piped water by the roadside, and that's a plus. But as for firewood and other old time things used to be what? Okay, okay. It is actually the issue is fire, because not many people will afford gas. Not many people will afford cooking gas. So firewood is still an issue to this day. They still fetch, and they still cook in those kitchens where they make fire with firewood, and these things still happen to this day, guys. So guys, that was a story of my life. A story is a place where we discuss issues of life. Issues of life being discussed here. This is one of the issues of life. Guys, go to YouTube type Never Age TV and subscribe. Let us share these stories. If you like this video, please share. Isn't it exciting to remember the olden days? It is very, very exciting. And we are saying the remembering when we are supposed to also say, to tell people how we grew up in those days, because some of them don't know. Some of them grew up in the city. Like now my children, they never saw this life that I'm telling you about. So it is good to let them know that their food could be cooked. Food used to be cooked with firewood, not gas, not cooking gas. And they would wonder, cooking how? How would you make fire to cook? And the pot would become black on the outside, the cooking pot. So for years, they would become black on the outside. And if students saw that today, they would ask, why are you making the pot dirty with smoke? See you guys in the next one, and subscribe. Bye-bye.